Chris Godinez, licensed professional counselor, also the host of We Need to Talk on every Sunday at noon. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. The views and opinions stated herein are mine and mine alone. They do not represent the ACA, the APA, or any other therapist for that matter. Boom, shakalaka done. I would like to thank my sponsor, BetterHelp, BetterHelp.com/Chris Godinez, for sponsoring my show. Thank you so much. They are an online counseling service. So if you are living outside of the US and you are having trouble getting into a counselor, go on to BetterHelp.com/Chris Godinez, fill out a couple of questions, and they will set you up with a counselor here in the States. Or if you are in the States and you are having a difficulty finding a good counselor near you, or you just don't like the counselors in your town, but you don't want to have to drive far away to get to another counselor, go to BetterHelp.com/Chris Godinez. I will put it down in the description, and they will set you up with a counselor in your state. So they are all licensed. They are master's level and above, PhD level. So there you go. Thank you, BetterHelp.com/Chris Godinez. Thank you. All right. So the questions for today. Let's see. I'm in Arizona and I am looking for something further like CBT, etc. Is this something that you do? Yes, it is. I do CBT. Now, please keep in mind, you must be a resident of Arizona. So if you're interested in booking an appointment with me, you have to be a resident of Arizona. So because of the licensure laws. So if you are interested in that, please go to my website, chrisgodinez.com. Click on AHA Counseling. That is my private practice. You have to be a resident of Arizona. I am only doing telehealth now. I am not doing any in-person, so I'm only doing telehealth. So there's that. So yeah, if you're interested in that, go to chrisgodinez.com, click on AHA Counseling. It should take you to the site where you fill out the email and things like that, and then we can get rocking and rolling on that. So yeah. Okay, there is that. Question, is there such a thing as too much self-forgiveness? I used to beat myself up over every mistake, but now I'm letting go easier and I feel guilty about it. Is that normal? Yes, it is totally normal to feel guilty about it. So what happens is that we get this, nothing's right, you're not okay, you can't do this, how dare you, how dare you, how dare you. And so we start, beating ourselves up over every single mistake we make. And then as we start working on self-esteem, we start forgiving ourselves. And then there's this, oh my gosh, I can't forgive myself. Well, it's because we're going against the programming. We're going against what's been drilled into us, that we need to feel guilty and that we're wrong and this, that, and the other thing. So yeah, that is kind of normal. And so what I would strongly suggest is writing the guilt a goodbye letter. Dear guilt, who do you really belong to? You don't belong to me. Where is this coming from? Who does this belong to? And then you basically tell the guilt bye-bye. Because here's the thing. We know when we have done something that needs to be made amends for, right? So the fear is that, oh my gosh, I'm going to swing too far in the opposite direction. Well, no, if you have a moral compass, you won't. Because you'll know when you need to make amends. If you've harmed somebody, you need to make amends. So, it's that balance of, have I harmed somebody? What is the next right step? Oh, I need to make amends. Okay, make amends. So the guilt is a control thing that is given to us from abusers, basically. So yeah, that's that. So no, that is normal to feel guilty over letting things go. It's normal to feel guilty about not beating ourselves up because we're so used to it. And it's almost like a superstition thing. So it's kind of like, for me, when I had to deal with my dad, if I could, I had this superstition that if I beat myself up before he could, maybe he would be nicer to me or more lenient on me or whatever. So we have to get out of that mindset. We do. But we also have to have a moral compass. So if we have harmed somebody, we must then make amends. So it's not like, oh, I forgive myself for everything and I never do anything wrong. Oh, that's narcissistic. So what you want to do is have I harmed somebody? Do I need to make amends? What's the next right step? And you always do the next right step. So yeah, for sure. But tell the guilt to go bye-bye and go play in traffic, for sure. Okay, those are those two questions. All right. Can you talk more about parallel parenting? Whew. Okay, so when we are having to share custody with an abuser, okay, a narcissist, a malignant borderline, The problem of it is that because they have not worked on themselves, it's never going to be co-parenting. Everybody thinks that, oh, it's going to be great. We're going to co-parent. They're going to help out. I'll help them out. They'll help me out. No, wrong. Incorrect response. That's not ever going to happen. It's going to be parallel parenting. In other words, what is it? 5225? I think that's the 50-50. 5225. So 5 days on, 2 days off, 2 days on, 5 days off. It's the 50-50 parenting that all the states have, which we need to reform the family court system, people. We really do, because they don't take into account people who are disordered. So anyway, when the kid goes over to the ex's house and the ex is abusive or the ex is narcissistic or personality disordered in any way, shape, or form, or an addict or whatever, the kid is going to have to deal with their weirdness while they're over there. When the child comes back over to you, they may act out because you're the safer parent. So they would never act out with the abuser because it's not safe. So what they do is they kind of store up all of that, oh my God, and then bring it home and then act out. And you have to nip that stuff in the bud. You do. You cannot allow that child to treat you poorly, put you down, repeat whatever BS the ex is pouring into their head. This is why it's so important that where's the book? Where's the book? Where's the book? Where did it go? I don't know what I did with it, but it's Splitting by Bill Eddy and Randy Krieger. And you're going to need to read that, because in that book, they basically describe and go through every single thing. I must have thrown it somewhere. Where did I throw it? That is so disturbing. Anyway, Splitting by Bill Eddy and Randy Krieger, and they talk about all of the things that narcissists and malignant borderlines do if they're not working on themselves. And even if a narcissist is, they're not doing it for good. They're doing it for evil, to learn how to manipulate more. So what they do is they use the kid as a pawn. They pour their venom into the child. They badmouth this parent. And they will ask the kid, well, what is your mom or dad doing? Who are they with? What are they doing? Where are they going? Where the da-da-da-da-da? That kid has got to be in therapy. So when you go to get the divorce decree, you must ask for therapy for the children, number one, that the other one cannot deny therapy for the children. Number two, that you get to have a say in who the therapist is. You get to have a say in medical things. Number three, you get the right of first refusal. So this is the other thing that I see these people do, is that they will demand time with the child, but then hand the child off to other family members or a babysitter or whatever. So if they cannot be personally watching them, you get the right of first refusal. In other words, if they cannot watch them themselves, you get to have the kid back. So, and that's really important to put into your divorce decree. Parallel parenting. You're going to have to undo every rotten thing that they've done, because they will be trying to undo all the good stuff you're doing. So that's why it's parallel parenting. It's not co-parenting. Co-parenting is when both parents understand and recognize that it is about the best interest of the child, not the best interest of their damn ego. So it's really, really, really important to understand that parallel parenting is you're going to be having to fight every rotten thing this person is doing, basically, and you're having to help that child and make sure that child gets into a therapist so that they have a safe place to vent, because narcissists don't stop. They just don't. They're control freaks. They want to control at all costs. And if they cannot control the parent that they want, they'll try to control the kids. And if the kids go, no, I don't want to see that, because when kids get to be about, 13, usually that's when judges, at least here in the state of Arizona, start, unplugging their ears and going, oh, this child is old enough to say who they want to live with and what's going on. So if they can't control that way, oftentimes what I'll see them do is they'll start calling the police and trying to use the police to harass. Like if the kids don't want to go and the kids have said this and the judge has said, okay, you don't have to go, they'll then call the police and be like, oh, they're going against court orders or blah, blah, blah. They lie, So yeah, it's crazy. So parallel parenting is, don't ever think that they are ever, listen to me now, believe me later, don't ever think that they are ever going to act in the best interest of the child. They are going to act in their own best interest. They're going to act in their ego's best interest. They are never going to be looking out for the best interest of the child. You must. So your eyes must be on everything. And they are going to try to get the kid to rat on you. Who are you seeing? What are you doing? Where are you going? And that's going to be a really difficult conversation to have because you don't want to keep secrets, but you have to help the child understand that what happens in your house is private and that is not to go back over there. But then again, that kind of works both ways, because then as soon as that ex figures out that, the child is not saying anything about what's going on, they're going to start, well, whatever happens here is you can't tell your mom or your dad or blah, 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 blah. So this is why the court system really needs to be revamped. They need to understand that these abusers are so insanely, keyword insane, damaging to the child because they use the child to try to harm the ex that got away. So in parallel parenting, you're going to be trying to keep a straight course for your child, no matter how much that ex tries to drag them off course. You're going to try to protect them. You're trying to keep them safe. You can change the custody agreement every couple of years, if I'm not mistaken. Talk to an attorney. I'm not an attorney. But, if the children are getting older and they're like, I don't want to go over there, it's crazy, then go back, have them speak to the judge and change the custody agreement. So that is parallel parenting, is you're trying to keep the kids on the straight and narrow. Meanwhile, these people are trying to pull them off track and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. So it's parallel parenting. It's not co-parenting. It's like you guys are not even on the same page, let alone the same planet. So, all right. So there is that. How do I hear my gut more than my heart or my head? Okay. So the head and the heart tell stories. These guys are storytellers. So it's always never a yes or no answer to a yes or no question. It's always a huge story. Well, yes, but this and that and the other thing. And no, but this, that, and the other thing. And all this big story and drama and blah, 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 blah. So that's how you know it's the head and the heart. When you ask your gut a simple yes or no question, it will give you a simple yes or no answer. No story. If story starts to kick in, that's your head or that's your heart. That is not your gut. So that's how you tell the difference. And you start by practicing with things that you already know the answer to. Do you like peanut butter? I don't. So when I say, okay, gut, do I like peanut butter? It's like, no, I don't. But do I like Reese's peanut butter cups? Oh, yes, I do. It's like, yep, I do. And you can feel the difference. So that's how you start practicing. You start practicing with what you already know to be true for yourself or know to not be true for yourself. And then you feel the difference. You listen to how that feels in your gut. So that's how you tell. And if there's story, it's the head or the heart. Okay. Why do psychopaths mirror us? Okay, so, wow, got about 3 hours. So psychopaths mirror us because they do not have empathy. They do not feel the way we do. They don't have the ability to put themselves in somebody else's shoes and go, ooh, how must that feel to walk a mile in that person's shoes? They don't have the ability to do that. So they have to get through life and kind of mirror social norms. So they start mirroring. They mirror us perfectly. You like ice cream, I like ice cream. You like to skate, I like to skate. You like moose, I like moose. That's what they do. So it's a way to fit in. It's a way to not appear psychopathic. That's why they do it, is because they don't know how to behave. So they mirror. And they're intuitive about it almost. So it's like they have this intuition, but they don't have the empathy. So they can pretend to be human. They can pretend to be just like, average Joe. Think Ted Bundy, right? He would mirror his victims, or he would mirror what society deemed a good, clean-cut, kind, college student kind of guy. And people didn't suspect him because he was able to fake it. So in reality, he was a psychopathic killer. So yeah. So they mirror us so that they can get closer to us, so they can learn our vulnerabilities, what we like, what we don't like. It's psychopathic. It is. It's for their own gain. It's for their own ends. It's so they can manipulate, control, etc., etc. What is histrionic personality disorder? So histrionic personality disorder is overly dramatic. Overly dramatic. Everything is, if like this is baseline, they're up here, So histrionic, they dress very seductively. They use sex a lot to get attention. It's very attention seeking kind of thing. Screaming memes. You know, it's like if the reaction should be here, they take it up to here. You know, drama king, drama queen, very histrionic, that kind of thing. I honestly think that they're probably going to get rid of histrionic and roll it into borderline because it's all trauma responses, obviously. So yeah, so that's what histrionic is. In fact, do I have? Let me see if I have my DSM handy here, and I can give you a quick rundown. 667. Okay, hang on. It is a cluster B. 667. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay. Okay, pervasive pattern of excessive emotionality and attention seeking, beginning in early adulthood and present in a variety of contexts, is indicated by 5 or more of the following. 1 is uncomfortable in situations in which he or she is not the center of attention. That sounds like narcissism, which is why I'm saying I don't think it's its own category necessarily. So, 2, interaction with others is often characterized by inappropriate, sexually seductive, or provocative behavior. 3, displays rapidly shifting and shallow expressions of emotions. So they don't ever go deep. There's no deep emotions. There's no deep pondering or understanding of life, that kind of thing. 4, consistently uses physical appearance to draw attention. So they're always dressing seductively. They're always, you know, concerned about their body, somatic, very somatic. That could be somatic narcissism as far as I'm concerned. 5, has a style of speech that is excessively impressionistic and lacking in detail. So they're very emotional, very emotionally swaying. They try to sway people with emotions, that kind of thing. 6, shows self-dramatization, theatricality, and exaggerated expression of emotions. So, like I said, when something is sad, instead of just kind of tearing up, they take it into this histrionically crying, sobbing, tearing their clothes, that kind of thing. So they take it to the nth degree. Nothing is ever done halfway. All right, is suggestible. 7, is suggestible, easily influenced by others or circumstances. And 8, considers relationships to be more intimate than they actually are. So they'll date somebody and, a week later they say that they're, that's their boyfriend or girlfriend, or they'll say that, oh, that's my fiance. And it's like, wait a minute, you guys just started dating. What? No, I don't think so. So, and again, that is behavior that both narcissists and borderlines do. So this is why I'm thinking it's going to get rolled into one of the other ones. I don't think it's its own thing, because narcissists also do this somatic, look at my body, look at me, look at me being, seductive, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I think it's going to get rolled into one of the other ones. So yeah. How do I trust again? So that's a tough one, because when we have been abused, we do not trust. We're very untrusting. And there's a reason why. It's because we've gotten burned, multiple times. And especially if we've had family of origin that was untrustworthy, and then we got involved with a romantic partner and they burned us, then yeah, we're not going to be very trusting. So you start to trust by listening to your gut. It's starting to trust yourself, trust your intuition, trust what you know to be true, and follow that. Every single time I've gone against my gut instinct, something horrible has happened. So now when my gut instinct yells at me and I'm tempted to just go along with the crowd, I will be like, nope, 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 nope. I am going to trust my gut. No, we're not going to do this. No, we're not walking down that street. Something's telling me not to. So you listen to that, you just start listening to your gut. And I talked about how to earlier. How do cults get people to join? I don't understand. Can you explain communal narcissism? Okay, so communal narcissists are like Jim Jones or David Koresh or any of those cults out there. And they do the same thing that narcissists do, which is love bomb. Oh, the Moonies, love bombing. That term actually comes from the Moonies, because they would actually say, well, we love bomb people. We love them. We bomb them with love, because this was during the Vietnam War. And so they were like, oh, we bomb them with love. That's where the term love bombing comes from. So you're wonderful, you're great, you're awesome, we love you, we get you, we understand you, come join us, that kind of thing. And that's how they do it, is because they help, they help, what is the word I'm looking for? They don't help. They make the person feel like, who's been rejected, who doesn't love themselves, that somebody loves them, and that they'll finally be accepted, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So they get people to join by selling them a bill of goods, basically. It's like, oh, we'll love you and we'll be your family. You don't need your family. Sound familiar? That's what narcissists do. You don't need your family. You don't need your friends. You just need me. That's what narcissists say, and that's how they convince their target to get rid of family and friends, and that's what cults do. You don't need your friends, you don't need your family, you don't need your money, give it to us, that kind of thing. So, yeah, and they get people to join, and it's, very convincing. Nexium got people to join that you would think wouldn't get involved in a cult. The People's Temple, Jim Jones, got people to join that you would think would not get involved in a cult, and they did. And so it has nothing to do with intelligence. It has everything to do with emotional manipulation. That is how they get people to join cults. They do the love bombing, the intermittent positive rewards, the withholding of sleep a lot of times, and the same thing that narcissists do everywhere. To manipulate, to control, to make people more malleable. They sell them a bill of goods, and then once they're in the cult, there's fear. There's a lot of fear. If you leave, you're not going to heaven. If you leave, you're not a part of us. You'll be shunned. If you leave, and in the case of the People's Temple, they killed people. They killed 900 people. So yeah. Okay, I hope that answers the question. That's how they get them to join. And it's like I said, it has nothing to do with intelligence. It has to do with emotional intelligence. So they target people who are feeling like outsiders. They target people who are looking for something. And they love bomb them. They literally love bomb them. So yeah, and then they do the intermittent positive rewards. And that keeps people stuck. That keeps people hooked. So that's how they do that. I keep looking at my ex's Facebook. How do I stop? Okay. So we keep thinking that we need closure, and we keep thinking that we can stay safe or keep one step ahead of them if we just know what they're doing. Well, no, you don't need to know what they're doing. You don't. You need to go no contact. And no contact means you don't look at their Facebook, you don't look at their Instagram, you don't look at their Twitter, you don't look at anything they are doing. It's tempting. It is tempting because you're curious. You're like, well, are they with somebody new? What's going on? More than likely they will be. Yeah, because they need supply like the rest of us need air. So you don't want to do that, because all you're going to do is just get angry and stir up all those emotions again instead of working on you. You need to start working on why. Who, when, where, what, why. Family of origin. Who did this person remind you of? What drew you to them in the first place? What do you need to strengthen within yourself to make yourself titanium so that none of these bozos can ever walk into your life again? So yeah, that's part of the reason why we do look at Facebook, is because we're avoiding, because we would rather focus on them as opposed to working on ourselves. So you block them, you get rid of them, you don't go back and look at their stuff. You just don't. And it is a little bit of willpower involved in that, because we're curious. We want to know what they're doing. We're curious what's going on, but you've got to stop that, because you're living in this alternate reality, and you can't. You got to live in the here and the now. And the here and the now is work on your self-esteem. The Self-Esteem Workbook by Glenn Schiraldi. You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. Boundaries. The Diseased Pleased by Harriet Breaker. Codependent No More, Beyond Codependent No More, both by Melanie Beattie. Write your list of deal breakers. You got work to do. You got better things to do with your time than look at this ex's Facebook or Instagram or whatever. And plus the fact, remember, narcissists are notorious for posting these picture perfect, look how happy we are, look at how great we are, everything's perfect, and then it turns out it's rotten to the core. So, you cannot believe everything you see on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or anything else. So, yeah, so let it go. Get rid of it, cut it off, block them, be done. You got work to do. You got work to do on you, and you are worth your own time. So spend your time working on you, not worrying about what they're doing. Absolutely. I don't understand reparenting myself. How do I do that? So you're gonna have to start working on self-esteem. The Self-Esteem Workbook by Glenn Schiraldi, like I said, or You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. Reparenting ourselves means giving ourselves permission to be. It means treating ourselves the way we wished a healthy parent had treated us. So kindness, forgiveness, compassion, gentleness, encouraging. Those are all traits that a good parent does. So when you do the mirror work, hi, good to see you. That feels good because you're saying hi to yourself and you're saying it's good to see you. And that's a wonderful feeling. Have a wonderful day. You're giving yourself permission to have a wonderful day. Your subconscious is listening to this and it's going, oh, she wants a good day. Okay, let's make it a good day. I give you permission to like yourself, and then walk out. So now you've given yourself permission to have kinder thoughts. So that's reparenting yourself. So the Inner Child Workbook by Catherine Taylor, that helps with that. You go back and you figure out what happened at each developmental stage. So reparenting yourself is treating yourself the way you wished a healthy parent had treated you. And it's dealing with yourself in a kind, gentle way. And it's dealing with your inner child like a good parent, you know, gentle, kind, compassionate, understanding, teaching, you know, hey, little one, you're not going to pick anybody. I'm going to be the adult. You let me be the picker. You're not the picker. I'm the picker. You know, it's like, I'm the adult. Let me be the adult. You get to be a kid. You get to go play. You get to go have fun. That kind of thing. So, yeah, reparenting yourself is working with your inner child and loving that little inner child unconditionally, which is loving you unconditionally, doing the mirror work, which is also loving you unconditionally, which is what a good parent does. So yeah, that's reparenting. Okay, how are we doing on time? Ooh, running out of time. Okay, it feels like there are a lot of narcissists out there. What is the percentage? Okay, so the official percentage is 9%. I think that is way low. I think it is closer to 30 to 40%, and here's the reason why. Narcissists do not go get help. They do not. They think they are God and have never done anything wrong in their entire lives. If they do go to therapy, they will go once, maybe twice, and then they will peace out claiming that the therapist is incompetent and doesn't know what they're talking about and all that sort of good stuff because probably the therapist is onto the fact that they're a narcissist. So they don't go to therapy. They don't seek out therapy. They'll go once, you know. And generally, yeah, I can tell somebody's a narcissist after one session, you bet. But usually a lot of therapists wait after a few sessions to see, you know, if they were just nervous or whatever. So, and they don't get a diagnosis, and that doesn't go into the statistics. So, you know, they don't go get help. They don't. The only reason they ever go is if the court orders it, or if they're in a relationship and the partner who does not understand narcissism demands that they go to therapy. They decide to go to therapy because they're going to control the therapist, and when they realize they can't control the therapist, they peace out, or they go to therapy, they can control the therapist, and then it's very dangerous for the spouse who's gone to therapy thinking that this is going to fix the relationship, because then they'll use whatever is being said in therapy against the person who asked for the therapy in the first place. So that's why you never go to therapy with a narcissist. Ever. Not family therapy, not couples therapy. If there is abuse there, never go to therapy with them. Ever. It'll be used against you. Absolutely. So, yes, I think it is closer to 30 or 40%. I do not think it is 9%. I think it is underreported, and it's because they don't go to therapy unless they're court ordered or unless they're being dragged to a couples session by a frustrated spouse. And they won't stay if you've got a good therapist that sees them for what they are, because as soon as they recognize the therapist can't be manipulated, they're out of there. So yeah. So anyway, that's that. All right, kids. So remember, this weekend I am taking this Sunday off. There will not be a show this weekend. The next show will be on May 23rd, and that is going to be about enmeshment. So in other words, over-controlling spouses, over-controlling parents, you know, enmeshment. They're enmeshed. There's no separation between you and them. It's like there's no boundaries. So we're going to talk about enmeshment and how to get out of that. All right, my loves, have a great 2 weeks. I will see you on May 23rd talking about enmeshments. Be good to yourselves. Drink plenty of water. Take good care of yourself. Get some exercise. Eat healthy foods. Watch fun things. And I will talk to you later. Bye.